If you find yourself wandering in Craig County some summer day, you might want to stop at Ruby and Gene White's place.
This is certainly a pleasant day to sit under the shade tree and watch the hummingbirds.
Beats picking cotton.
Chances are they'll have a lawn chair for you, so that you might sit a while with their friends, Ellie and Bill Womack, and enjoy one of summer's most magical displays.
You know, it's just such a thrill. They're so neat. I don't know what we looked at before we watched birds.
And one bird in particular has captured this foursome like no other. What a marvelous creature is the hummingbird. We can only guess at the number of times its tiny wings must flutter, that its little heart must beat, on that harrowing journey of migration that brings it back to Ruby and Gene's place every year about this time.
They know where the feeder is, and you know that they've been here before. They're just coming home.
Coming home to a sugary sweet, open-armed, so good to see you again, hello. Dispensed by a woman whose Mother's Day gift every year is 150 pounds of sugar.
This year I have already fed 120 pounds.
Ruby and Gene have hung feeders beneath every eave from every branch that seems up to hoisting such a welcome, and thus given Ellie the chance to practice her passion.
Hi there, baby.
As Oklahoma's only federally licensed hummingbird bander.
Before we got into this, we hardly even knew birds existed, you know.
Very much patience, yes. A lot of patience.
For a couple of hours a week, you'll find them here. Ellie at her card table, Bill's trigger finger wrapped around a length of fishing line.
I think I catch more hummingbirds than I do fish, though.
Every time a ruby throat comes to quench a thirst, Bill lowers the boom.
You got one.
Bill will wear a path before the day is done, between his lawn chair and his cage and his wife.
You hold the bird like this, and I have to hold it by the beak and transfer it to my other hand. That allows her to pick it up with the beak and get in her hand.
And once in Ellie's hand,
Hi, little fella.
the amazing life of a hummingbird begins to measure up.
Your little heart's just racing.
Draped in a tiny tea cloth,
It's easier to use some type of restraint that doesn't hurt the bird.
good-natured for the most part.
She may sing to us. If we get a fussy one, it'll usually be a boy.
Who qualifies as a frequent flyer by any definition of the term. Measurements duly recorded of beak and wing and weight.
Let's see here. She weighs 3.5 grams.
Heft equal to that of a penny. 1 cent. Yet these tiny birds hold the energy and gumption that powers them on a circuit from Central America to Canada with time to nest in a Craig County front yard. Who could deny them the utmost respect?
My eyes were opened. Just fell in love. And I feel so fortunate to be able to do this.
Today's visitor's log will be tallied with last week's and last year's so that conservationists might know a bit more of where hummingbirds go and how long they stay there and when it is their lives finally end. And every so often, like some youngster home from college, a bird that Ellie held in another summer returns.
94. She's a bird I banded in 1994, here.
It's like seeing old friends again, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
And I think we all felt it. If only she could tell us where she'd been and what she'd seen, and how it was she found herself back beneath the shade trees at Ruby and Gene's place, where there's always an extra chair or two set out, just in case.
Sometimes we go to town and come back, and there'll be 4 or 5 people sitting in the yard.
Some of them we never saw before.
Just watching the birds.
Now, would you like to hold this?
Sure. Now, if he gets away, you've finished all your measuring, haven't you?
Yes. Okay. Whichever hand is
Wow.
convenient.
It's not just birds you'll see if you come this way. It's willpower and mystery,
Seems very content, doesn't he?
majesty and wonder.
Would you like to see if he'll feed?
Yeah.
And we never get to see enough of those things.
It's a
I
bit
had good
awkward at
experience of this
times.
with my baby boy, you know. There, I think he's doing it.
We're not ignorant, we're ignorant. We ignore all these wonderful things around us.
Just go ahead and let him go.
If he doesn't go immediately, drop your hand like that. There he goes.
Isn't that something? Quite fascinating to hold that in your hand, isn't it?
Oh, it's a thrill.
Comes all the heartbeat.
That's what
You can
it
feel a
was
little
describing.
heartbeat.
In Craig County, Scott Thompson, the Oklahoma Traveler.